company wants to improve the accessibility of its online product catalog for blind visitors. I can advise them what design actions to take according to the following guidelines, respectively. Guideline 1.1. You'd implement voice commands on the website. So when the website is loaded, it'll give the visitors like a list of options, such as like view categories or say a search term, and then based on the vocal response, it'll let you navigate the site.
And based on guideline 1.4, it'll let it be known that the user can say pause at any time to silence an audio description from the website, as well as change the audio volume for different parts of the website. So some stuff can be easier to hear, like silencing like background videos. It can also give the option to have no description of options be played after the first visit to the site.
I can explain the difference between the two inquiry methods, contextual versus cooperative. Contextual inquiry is a way of obtaining information about the use of a product by asking a semi-scripted set of questions to the user and then observing the user's actions with the product.
While cooperative inquiry is interacting with the user in order to research with them instead of research on the user, this is kind of the opposite of contextual inquiry in that way.
I can explain the difference between feedback and visible system status. Visible system status refers to the system keeping users informed about what's going on through appropriate feedback. So an example would be like when you turn your computer on, like a green light appears telling you that your computer's on.
Feedback system status is used more for a process that may take a while to execute and to let the user know how much time is remaining. If a network request is taking too long, the process should not leave the user waiting for a response, and it should show something like a progress bar with an estimation as to how much longer it'll take to complete.
When my manager is contemplating installing surveillance cameras, I can explain to my manager that there are political consequences. Using surveillance cameras can lead to a lack of privacy, as well as the ability to abuse them, such as employees observing other employees' private actions, as well as voyeurism can become an issue, which is when people use cameras to spy on women and they don't know they're watching.
I can describe what Fitz's law is meant to predict and explain the terms in the terms of Fitz's law's equation. Fitz's law is used to predict the amount of time it takes for a user to click on an object, and the equation is based on a couple of constants as well as the distance from the object and the width of the object. You can use this by placing the more important links and buttons closer to the middle or top of the pages where the mouse is more likely to start, as well as make the buttons wider so they're harder to miss.
And then I can give an example of how Apple as a company pays attention to accessibility. So for this, the best example is on iPhones. You see the settings, go to settings, and then within settings, if you go to general, which is right there, you can see accessibility right there. If you press it, gives you a whole list of options that you can use if you have issues like voiceover, zoom, magnifier, speech, larger text, bold text. Pretty much you can customize your iPhone any way you need to make it easier to use. And that is all.